Welcome to Meet Me Halfway. I am Jordan Griffith. He is Austin McNorton. Once again, here on Monday, April 15th. Very happy to be with you guys. We have a show. We have just a jam-packed show once again. Golf is actually leading off the show. That is not a joke.
Deserving.
Deserving. My dogs are going to probably be barking for some reason. It's going to happen. I'm in a very populated area of my house.
You've accepted it.
If you guys haven't seen one of the episodes, I had to let my dog out of this room. It's a lot of traffic going in and out, so just ignore it if you could.
I'm locked in a recording studio here, and no one's gonna bother me at all.
Now here's the real question. Now we might have to make a poll of this on Twitter, because we have such a big fan base and Twitter account that we get millions of votes. Who has the better background setting? Is it me?
That's a good poll. That's a good poll.
That is a very, because yours is certainly more related to the show, but mine is very classy, very professional.
It's very classy.
So with this is a good battle.
Like business on one side and then the sports on the other side.
We got military. My dad was in the Navy. We got military awards over here, and then over on this side we got all sorts of sports, even family pictures down, but no one cares about those. We got Bills. We got Chipper Jones's Hall of Fame plaque, 2 autographed baseballs, which Eric Hosmer autographed. Also, by the way, on this jersey, if you guys can see it.
I see it.
Or not. Just great all around.
But we're not biased towards Kansas City, the Royals, or anything at all.
I'll be honest, I hate Kansas City. It's just the worst. It's the worst city I've ever been to. I like El Dorado much more.
Atlanta all the way.
Atlanta all the way. Atlanta's actually a great city, so shut your mouth.
Oh.
Yeah, now we're taking a turn to just hatefulness.
We've taken it. By the way, tell the viewers out there your experience at the old Tomahawk Chop Stadium or whatever it's called.
Oh man, it was fantastic. So my dad threw his work somehow. I'm not sure how it happens, but we got some free tickets to go to the baseball game. Braves at SunTrust Park here in Atlanta against the New York Mets. We had Sean Newcomb on the mound versus Jason Vargas, a former Royal. Both of them were out by the middle of the second inning. They both did absolutely terrible. It was a fantastic game, but the seats where we were at were we saw batting practice pretty much within 100 feet of us. It was right there. Then we had this he's definitely not one of those concessions guys, because he was like a helper, I don't know. I don't know exactly what he was, but he's a worker. I guess he could be a waiter. But he escorted us down. He told us about a buffet that we had no clue about, because we've never been there. We're always in the nosebleeds typically. We're in, usual baseball seats. Yeah. So he takes us down into a buffet, and it is just loaded with people. You have on one like wall, like kind of separating the room in halves. Mm-hmm. You have all the gold gloves that they got a copy of, all the gold gloves that all the Braves won. And if you don't know Andrew Jones, the former center fielder for the Braves, he won 10 gold gloves. So just 10 right there by himself.
Wow.
And you have, I think, 5 from Dale Murphy. Then you have Freddie Freeman. He won one last year. Then you have all those guys. And you have Silver Sluggers here on another wall, all the Silver Slugger winners. It's crazy. Now, all this food, like,
what kind of food was it?
Oh my God. It goes from so it was a buffet style. So you go and just pick up whatever you want, and then when you go sit down, then an actual waiter down there will come and get you a drink. But I go down there and we kind of get some food. We didn't know about this, so we ate before, which was unfortunate. So we were like, we go down there.
Okay.
But we were already full, so we were like, oh, God. We just ate some crappy barbecue outside of the stadium. That was terrible.
Okay. But now you know about this.
Now I know about this. So if we get those chance to get those tickets again, we're definitely not eating, because everything's free down there. And this is crazy because the tickets were free is unbelievable. And a huge painting of Chipper Jones on one wall. Oh my God, man.
That's nuts.
It was crazy. And during the game, his name was Carlos. I'll call him the waiter. He would come and he would bring you he had like half of a section that he took, and everyone had their half section and all that. And he would ask people if they needed drinks or like snacks, like Cracker Jacks or stuff like that, and he would just come bring them to you. I was astounded. I was waiting for someone to tell us that we were in the wrong seats and we deserved to be in Gen Pop with the rest of the peasants. I was very much.
That's amazing.
It was incredible, and we're trying to get some more of those throughout the year. I don't know if that's going to be possible because that's pretty cool stuff.
That is pretty cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Enough about me. We're talking about golf here. Tiger Woods wins the 2019 Masters tournament. I don't know much about golf. I'm not going to act like I do. But people are calling this one of the greatest comebacks in sports history. Before we get into that, I want to tell you exactly what the world was like the last time Tiger Woods won a major. And I believe that was 10 to 11 years ago. So, you ready for this?
14 years ago, 2005.
Was it?
Yeah.
14? Wow,
14 years ago.
Even more so. So, the top country song was I'm Still a Guy by Brad Paisley. You guys remember that song? Gas prices were $4.11 a gallon. Those were record highs at that time.
Yeah.
The president was still George W. Bush. He was still the president.
Yep.
And in the top movies were The Incredible Hulk and Kung Fu Panda.
Wow.
First installments of both of those. Which is incredible. Yeah, that is pretty incredible.
That is awesome.
Okay, so the question's going to stand here, Austin. Is this the greatest comeback in sports history?
Certainly in my memory, it's got to be up there. I mean, you talk about, mostly just from everything that he's had to go through. Now, if it would have just been like his whole like scandal thing and off the course issues, then probably not, because he wouldn't have been out that long. But the fact that this man could hardly even walk, let alone play golf, with 3 back surgeries in 3 years, neck pain, a knee surgery. This man could not swing a golf club at all. And now that he's gone through all that and come back and played, last year we saw him play at a pretty high level, but still no one was like, oh man, the competition's too great. He's never going to be able to get back to how he was. He went out there and there were in the top 10 golfers in the world right now. He beat all of them. He beat all of them. 6 of them were in the top 10. So this was not like some fluke Masters that we saw over the weekend where some guy comes out of nowhere and wins. The best golfers in the world were in the hunt to all win. Brooks Koepka, Dustin Johnson, all these guys could have won, but Tiger beat all of them. Unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable. And it really comes full circle back around from in 97 when he won the Masters, hugging his dad, and then yesterday hugging his son. People love a comeback story, but this is one that's just like, this guy literally changed the game of golf from a standpoint of being physically fit, driving the ball really far, using sheer power, and then his technique of approaches, getting it on the green. He changed the game of golf because he was so much better than everyone else that now everyone else has stepped up their game, and he still beat him. Unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable.
Yeah. To the question, once again, I'm not gonna be the guy who pretends like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to this kind of stuff. I watched golf for the first time in I don't know however many years. For about 30 minutes yesterday, and I was like, okay, that's enough for me. I don't like watching golf. I'm not gonna act like I do.
I watched all 4 rounds. I watched all 4 rounds of it. The thing is, if Tiger wasn't in it, I don't know if I would have.
You wouldn't have. I know you wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Here's something I heard, and I kind of get away from the question here, but here's something that I heard yesterday that I think is 100% true. Tiger does not move the needle. He is the needle when it comes to golf. 110%. That's the only golf. That's the only athlete in all of sports that has this amount of draw. More than Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor, LeBron James, Tom Brady. Millions more. He laps them. He laps them when it comes to.
He affects the game in such a way that like yesterday, for example, Scott Van Pelt said, "I've never heard Augusta National as loud as this than it was yesterday. Louder than it's ever been before." All the other golfers that were interviewed brought him up in conversation, says he brings the crowds, he brings the energy for us to feed off of. It's unbelievable that this man literally has the game of golf in the palm of his hand. Like, what he brings to this sport is unbelievable. I can't even imagine what the television ratings were for it.
Yeah.
Probably through the roof.
Yeah, exactly. And when Scott Van Pelt talks about golf, you better listen. He knows what he's talking about when it comes to that.
Because like CBS and Jim Nantz and all those guys, it's like this is the biggest stage for golf. Is like this is the historic tradition, and for him to be as big of a part of it as he was, just what a story. 5 times now. He's won.
And you know what? I think I'm gonna make some edits for the next for Thursday's show, because I think this will be a very good question. What is the most coveted individual award you could win? And that includes like gold or a green jacket from the Masters, winning a World Series, winning a Super Bowl, MVP, any sorts of that. I think that would be a good question for next week.
That is a good question.
But for the question, I don't think this is the greatest comeback of all time, because once again, it is not like he came back from something just unheralded or seen before. They're injuries, and yes, they were severe, and he had nagging back problems for seemed like 55 years. At the same time, he was by far the best before, and he's not the best right now. I think we all know that, but at times he obviously showed it because he won the Masters once again. I'm having a hard time believing this is the greatest comeback of all time. There are guys who've literally survived fatal car crashes that have come back. I can't think of his name right now, but his name was the Tasmanian Devil. He was a boxer. They made a movie about it. It's called I Think I Bleed for This. He survived a fatal car crash, should have been dead, wore like this crazy brace into his skull for months, and then he finally got back into the ring and won a title once again. That kind of stuff is more important to me, I think, because this is kind of routine wear and tear. We've seen this before.
Yeah.
But we also don't see people come back from it. But I will say one of the greatest comebacks in golf. I'm not going to say in the history of sports. I think that's completely overblown. But I also don't want to demote what happened yesterday.
Do you think that, because we've seen golfers win, and he's 43, so I mean, he's getting up there in age, but do you think that he can pass what's a lot of people refer to as the greatest golfer of all time in Jack Nicklaus with 18 majors? He has 15 right now, and I heard it this morning, and Stephen A. Smith actually said it. He said, I didn't think he would win another major, but now that he has gotten over that hump of saying, I actually won one, all he needs is 4 more to be the greatest of all time. Do you think he can do it?
No, 4 is a lot to ask, and and that Masters. If you watch it, I watched a little bit of it. There were when you talk about Koepka and the Italian that was in first place, I cannot think
Francesco
of his name.
Molinari.
Exactly. They also contributed quite a bit with a little choke job. They definitely did that a little bit. So I don't see Tiger. I obviously don't take my word for it. Once again, I don't know if I can see Tiger winning another one of these. I think a lot had to go right for it to happen. He also played out of his mind, best he's ever played in a very long time, obviously.
Yeah.
But I don't see those guys doing that once again. I think this golf has turned into a young man's game with guys like Spieth and Koepka and Dustin Johnson and those kind of guys. So.
Yeah, that's true. It's going to be interesting to see because
you think he wins another one?
I think he can definitely win 1, maybe 2 more, because when you think there's 4 majors played in every year. So, I mean, let's say he plays 3 more years of golf. He has 12 more chances to win at least 1.
But also, what are the chances he gets injured once again?
That's true. I mean, I can't say he won't, because, I mean, he has multiple times.
Right.
But I don't know if it – to truly answer your question, I don't know if it's the greatest comeback of all time, but it's definitely one of those comebacks where, like, I will be able to say a long time down the road, I remember when he won this. I remember watching when he had this win. Because this is a win that's going to be a major highlight of his career, if not one of the biggest highlights of his career.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to the NBA. Crazy games going on in the playoffs.
Sure.
Right now.
Crazy first round, yeah.
It has been quite the first round. Just to spit off some results to you. You have the Nets beating the 76ers in game 1 in Philly, 111 to 102. You have the Magic upsetting the Toronto Raptors with pretty much a game time or a game expiring three-pointer by
DJ Augustine. What a shot.
Yeah. You had the Warriors stomping all over the Clippers as predicted. You had the Spurs Nuggets. I believe that was last night or two days ago. And you had the Celtics beating the Pacers, Trailblazers beating the Thunder in what was probably, I think, one of the best games in the first round. The worst game, the Bucks beating the Pistons. That was the one I watched the most of, unfortunately. That was an absolute pummeling. It was almost illegal to watch. And then the Rockets beating the Jazz last night by 30 points. So, quite the first round when it comes to upsets. Some of the top teams performing just as well as we thought. The Nuggets losing to the Spurs, which I think was the most shocking result. Yeah. The Bucks just throwing the Pistons around.
They beat them the way that they did. Like we all know the Bucks are better, but they made a statement with that one.
Yeah, they did. They made a statement that playoff Giannis is not different from regular season Giannis, because people will knock teams if they take the regular season too seriously, which is a joke. Okay, you should take every single game seriously because you are paid millions to be a professional basketball player. It is a privilege, not a right in life. Okay, you should take everything seriously when you play, and Giannis is that. Giannis is the most likable player in the NBA, likable superstar in the NBA, and he proved yesterday. He says, I'm not going to be any different. This team is going to play just as well as we did in the regular season. Just because I don't shoot the three ball isn't not going to be an issue. I'm going to kill you. Is exactly what he said.
He dunked it from the free throw line in the game.
He looked at the Pistons. He says, I'm the captain now. That's exactly what he said.
That's such a great way to put it. I mean, the man just absolutely said, I'm the best player in this conference. I'm going to prove it.
Yes.
Is he MVP?
No, I know I'm biased when it comes to James Harden, but at some point, what it is what is the equation? What is the percentage of value to your team? Because value to your team, I believe we both would say you take Giannis off of the Bucks, they are probably an 8 seed. If you take Harden off of the Rockets, they're probably an 8 seed in the West, which is much tougher because they still have Chris Paul and Clint Capella.
Yeah.
So I believe we could both say that Giannis is more valuable to the team, but you cannot say that Giannis has had better production than James Harden when it comes to keeping your team alive. And in that, I think that James Harden has had enough production to supersede the value to the team amount. So I would go James Harden.
Okay. Yeah.
Where were you? This is a tough one though, because
it's really tough.
It's definitely those two. Then there's doubt.
Oh yeah. I really like Giannis, what he can do from just like because he can't shoot the three like any of these other guys nowadays, but he still is just an absolute beast and an absolute factor in the game.
Yeah.
That's what I like that part of it. That's a tough question, though, honestly.
So you're just split? You can't choose one?
If I were to choose right now, I'd pick Giannis.
Okay, that's fair. I can't argue that one. I think,
and I can't argue against James Harden.
Yeah,
well, he set records this season, scoring wise.
James Harden, I think, is going to be the only guy who should win MVP 3 times, but the one time he won it, he didn't deserve it. I think last year LeBron deserved it because he carried that team single-handedly. I think he deserved it this year. He deserved it the year before LeBron, and the year Steph Curry won his first one. That was the worst one. Steph Curry did not deserve that.
That was the worst one by far.
Yes, and then Steph Curry's second one, no doubt Steph Curry. But the first one was a joke. Well, I think James Harden is going to be the guy who wins the MVP in years he shouldn't, because I think he might win.
Snubbed in the years he should have.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. That's kind of something they're kind of making up for it a little bit, maybe.
It feels like it, and that's I think that's another big reason as to why he probably won't win it this year. They don't like handing it out to the same person. We see that with LeBron James. That's why Derrick Rose won it, and not just because of that reason. Obviously, stats played into it, but they don't like to hand the award out to the same person every single year. They want new stars. They want new marketability with new players. They don't want James Harden and Steph Curry and LeBron James to win it. Just taking turns every 3 years.
Even though they could every season.
Exactly. So we're going to go, and from what we watched the past couple days in the NBA playoffs, there's 3 teams that maybe we could be worried about. I left out the Nuggets. I didn't put them in there because I figured that one we had already kind of discussed earlier about the Nuggets kind of not having the superstar that we were thinking of. But number 1, I'm going to go with my finals pick, the Raptors. Austin, are you worried about the Raptors?
I am worried about the Raptors because of one reason. Kyle Lowry's not showing up in the playoffs again. He's not. I mean, what he went on. Fred VanVleet, honestly, is the point guard carrying that team right now. Because Kyle Lowry's not showing up. He's not scoring. He's not being the superstar that he needs to be. It can't be all on Kawhi. And in game 1, it was.
Yeah. I'm going to stay with not worried. I don't see this continuing. I don't see Kyle Lowry scoring 0 points once again. Sure, he's a diminished player. I'll give you that one.
I see your point, though, because if Kyle Lowry does anything in that game, then they win.
Literally, if he scores 4 points in that game, they literally win the game.
Yeah.
I don't think, I'll go with at least for this round, I think the Raptors are okay. Obviously, we're gonna have to watch later on, but I also think that the progression of Fred VanVleet picking up the slack for Kyle Lowry and Paul Siakam, or how you say his first name, Siakam, also his big progression. I think he's the most improved player in the NBA this year. Those guys, I think, can pick up the slack, especially against a Magic team that is very inconsistent the past few years. Very good, very athletic for sure. I don't see DJ Augustine playing that well once again.
He was a monster.
I think, he was a monster. Like, he scored 25 and I think 6 assists. So I don't see the Raptors struggling outside of this round, or I don't see them struggling in this round. I hope so, because I'd look like a fool because I picked them to go to the finals. If they got bounced in the first round, I'd look absolutely stupid. So that's just a hope. And then number 2, we're going to go with the Philadelphia 76ers. Are you worried about the 76ers?
I was worried about them before the playoffs started. I had them as my bust pick. And right now, the Philadelphia fans are not on their side. Yeah. They booed them in game 1.
Right.
And because they didn't look good. They literally could not hit a shot at all. They were not playing solid defense. They just seemed like, they're kind of going through the motions, except for Jimmy Butler. And we know how Jimmy Butler feels about his teammates kind of going through the motions.
Yeah.
He doesn't like it. And so if they're not cohesive as a team, which I don't know if they are right now, and the fans are behind them, that's really tough, especially in the playoffs, to win.
And I couldn't wait to talk about this one because Ben Simmons, this man has frustrated me. This man has frustrated me more than anything. If there was a least improved player, it would go out to Ben Simmons. I put everything.
How is he not improved even a little bit shooting it? And
it's not even shooting the ball. I feel like this is another Andrew Wiggins. This is a kid that just looks like you just said perfectly. He's just going through the motions out there. He cares more about his Instagram posts than I think he does winning his playoff series and being a superstar basketball player. That is not what you need to be worried about, because you have a guy on your team who has dealt with 2 of those, and he's not exactly scared to go after you.
He's not going to put up with it, clearly.
No, he's not a guy who plays around. If there was an all-NBA fight team, Jimmy Butler would probably be on there. This is not a guy to mess around with, and I just don't see the fire from the 76ers. Tobias Harris is a damn good player. A 4th option, which would be probably the best 4th option in the NBA outside of Golden State. But right now, man, the Nets look inspired and the 76ers look dead. Now, obviously, I think they play again tonight. We'll see in game 2 at home. But I'll tell you, D'Angelo Russell is a guy that I love. I think he's
playing inspired.
He plays inspired. He has a chip on his shoulder, which I frankly don't feel like anyone has in Philly except for Jimmy Butler, and it might not be enough.
Yeah, they were my bust pick going into it, and they're not looking good after game 1.
Yeah. And then number 3, lastly, this one's also a lot to unpack. The Oklahoma City Thunder. Are you worried about them?
Oh, I'm. I don't know if I'm necessarily worried because I believe that Paul George will get it going. But Portland also looks like a team that they're not messing around either because they're sick of the notion of, oh, we get swept every year in the playoffs. So they're trying to prove that they are not that team. So that's what's kind of concerning. But I feel like the Thunder won't play that bad again.
Okay.
They went like, what, 5 for 33 from behind the three-point line? No way they do that again.
The best way I could put it is, okay, I can change my mind. I'm a guy who I'm proud of. I can change my mind if I'm provided new evidence. I'm not stubborn in my views. And the Thunder, were my underdog pick. I am rescinding that pick. I am all in on the Blazers. I'm sorry I ever doubted Damian Lillard. I think the most underrated superstar in the NBA right now. Because Paul George is not 100%. His shoulders are covered with tape. He is not going to shoot the ball well in this series. I don't think he will. And I know for a fact
that injury might play a bigger factor than I'm anticipating.
I know for a fact that a Russell Westbrook-led team with a 50% Paul George is not good enough to beat the Trailblazers. This is not the 7-8 seed Trailblazers that we used to see 3 or 4 years ago that would just sneak into the playoffs and then get bounced in the first round and just say, "Oh, we're happy to be there." No. This is a hungry Trailblazers team.
Oh yeah.
Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum are killers out there. They can shoot the ball. They can shoot it. They love the floater, especially CJ McCollum. He got a few and ones on that last game. He's really good at that. He'll put him on the hip. He'll go up with the floater and one, and he'll get the drop, which seems like every single time. Then you have a guy like Enes Kanter, who almost had 20 and 20 last game, which is absolutely insane. He was a waiver wire pickup in the middle of the season once he got released from New York. So this is an insanely good, talented team that I just completely overlooked. I was 100% wrong about this team. I was 100% wrong about the health of Paul George and the fate of the Thunder. This could be a sweep. And I'm serious about that. I truly believe that the Blazers are going to come out with a fire once again. That right now, Russell Westbrook I'm losing faith in him already. He's not what I'm looking for when it comes to a leader right now. I don't know what to think of him. I mean,
what do you mean? Because I know that's your next topic here to discuss.
Exactly. His antics on the sideline in that last game, going to the check-in table. He's got the ice packs on his knees, and he is just he's not coaching the team. He's just screaming at his teammates. He's screaming at them to get in position, to do this, do that, and he's not. And I'm not saying you know this is the NBA. You have to say, okay, guys, let's get over here, let's take some shots. You don't have to be a snowflake about it, but you also can't be that big of a what about it either. Teammates don't respond to that. Teammates will tune that out.
Especially NBA players, because they think because they have that mindset of I'm one of the best players in the world. Also, I'm not gonna
treat me like nothing.
Yeah,
and also in the post game. I know he had beef with that one single reporter that asked him the question.
That is so annoying.
But he just says, next question, next question, next question. And you know what?
They were legit questions. They were asking about how Enes Kanter dominated his old team. That's a fair question.
Yeah. Well, the reason he didn't answer him is because that specific reporter he has beef with from Oklahoma. But at the same time, he just is not being professional. And also, I think the biggest part for me, this is not the time for that. This is not the time for this kind of stuff to be coming out. You have got to be on your game, on and off the court. And right now, he's not.
Yeah, I don't get it at all. And if they get swept again, there's going to be stories about his leadership again and Paul George's ability in the playoffs again. His team, they can't have that. They can't have that kind of notion and storyline behind that team again.
Well, I will say this: if the playoffs do not work out once again for the Thunder, and if they're looking for a change, they will change Russell Westbrook before they change Paul George.
Really?
I believe that 110%. I know that Russell Westbrook is an icon, but it's
the
kind
face
of
of that organization.
What's that?
He's the face of that organization.
He is, but at some point you have to recognize if you always do what you always done, you always get what you always got. And if Russell Westbrook and Paul George once again get bounced in the first round, and they think that something needs to change, I believe that they will change Russell Westbrook over Paul George. Moving on from Russell Westbrook, keeping Paul George. I see that happening, and I know that he is the face of that organization, that fan base loves him. But I also think that front office is smarter than people give him credit for. And I think that they are willing to move on from a guy that, honestly, those kind of antics are, they're kind of funny for a little bit, maybe at first. Then they start to just piss people off, and people start to get irritated. It is not something that can stay.
Especially right now, where it's like, this is the biggest part of the season. Let's focus on the game and not anything else.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the Thunder can pull it out, but I like the Blazers right now, and I was 100% wrong. I fully anticipate the Blazers to either get a sweep or maybe go into Game 5 and win the series.
We'll see what happens in Games 2.
And now, a question that I posed last show, and I promised you we would talk about it. I've been so excited. Is LeBron James a coach killer? LeBron James is a coach killer. And I have defended LeBron James throughout his entire career. I still believe we have been too rough on him. But if a guy like Dwight Howard, who goes through one coach, can be called a coach killer, a guy who's been through now 3 head coaches, if you want to include 4, you could. Somewhat would be called Eric Spoelstra, pretty much trying to get him fired. Let me break down the history here. So, and I'm not exactly going to blame him 100% for all of this, because I don't think that ever makes sense. I don't think anyone ever falls 100% on blame with it. First, when he gets there, Mike Brown, fired once he leaves, and then he goes to Miami. And you know what? Okay, pretty bad team around him. I don't think Mike Brown is a terrific head coach. We'll call that half a coach. 1/2, all right? Okay. Goes to Miami, looks around, and he says, I don't like Eric Spoelstra. He says, Pat Riley, the owner at the time for the Miami Heat, he says, do you have any itch of coaching once again? Pat Riley says, no. Eric Spoelstra is your head coach. You have to respect him. He will be your head coach. And they won a title. I'm counting that as 1.5 right there, because he wanted Eric Spoelstra fired. This has been documented on record. He wanted Eric Spoelstra out of Miami. He wanted his guy. That was specifically what they said. He wanted his guy, and that pattern is going to continue. Gets to Cleveland once again after a successful run with Eric Spoelstra, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. Gets to Cleveland. David Blatt's there. They just hired him before they got LeBron. They didn't know if they were going to get him, so they already hired their head coach over from, I believe he was a EuroLeague head coach. David Blatt wasn't a great head coach either, but LeBron James had him gone pretty dang quick, didn't he? He said, David Blatt is out of here. Puts Ty Lue in there. So that's we'll go 2.5 coaches. Okay, so pretty much 3, 2.5 coaches. Yeah. Ty Lue lasts just about a week after LeBron leaves. Cleveland couldn't get rid of him because LeBron liked Tyronn Lue. So the Cavaliers were able to keep. Gets to the Los Angeles Lakers, a guy with Luke Walton that Jeannie Buss, the owner, loves. She loves Luke Walton. She's favorite. He's beloved around the league as a person. People love him. He didn't hesitate to get a job right after he got fired. Gets fired from LeBron. Did not like Luke Walton as a head coach. Wants Tyronn Lue, who is beyond favorite for the LA Lakers head coaching job. This is not a debate, Austin. And I know what you're going to say. He is leaving a trail of dead bodies, okay? He's a killer who kept the murder, who kept the knife, okay? And he's got his fingerprints all over it. Of course he has success. Of course he deserves special treatment because he is the best player. But he is a coach killer.
I think a big factor into it actually might be like some of the media behind LeBron James, though, and the fact that people expect LeBron to win wherever he goes because he's LeBron James. He's the best player in the NBA. So the media says, oh, LeBron's the best. He should win wherever he goes because that's what LeBron James does. And so when he gets there and they're not winning, then that looks bad on him because all the media says, oh, well, LeBron James can't win. Maybe he's not the greatest, this and this, and maybe he's a bad teammate. When in reality, it's because LeBron says, this coach is not going to get the job done. He says he doesn't want that blame to be put on him. I think he kind of wants to put the blame on someone else. He says, this is the coach's fault that we're not winning, not mine. So I think you're right in the fact that, yeah, he's kind of a coach killer, but I think it's part of the media as well in the fact that, oh, LeBron James has to win literally everywhere he goes. And if he doesn't, oh, that's LeBron James's fault. That's no one else's fault. And so he's like, well, hold on a minute. That's kind of Luke Walton's fault, not mine. You know what I mean?
Well, let me another question to that. If you say that it also has part to do with the lack of winning because of the head coach as well, when's the only time, though, that he hasn't won? It's been in L.A. He's won everywhere he's been. And the coaches have still been fired.
He started like at some of the teams. He started out like slower than he wanted. Like when he lost to Dallas and Miami, when he lost it with Cleveland and Mike Brown. So that's like, oh, I should have won a championship in both those years, but I didn't. Oh, LeBron James can't ever win a ring. No, it's the coach's fault. It's not my fault.
So are we equating must-win titles to a head coach for them to keep their job? Because I don't think that's a fair expectation to say. If you don't win a title,
it's not a fair expectation at all.
That's put on by
kind of goes along with when you have LeBron James on your team. That is the expectation because that's what LeBron James' expectation is.
And you know what? But you also have to give the credit. He has put the expectation on himself. Not 4, not 5,
that's
not
true.
6. Okay, he's put the expectation on himself. When he came to Los Angeles, he said, we are going to win. And they didn't. The only time that the coach has been fired because of lack of winning is, and he was only given one dang year with LeBron to do it. I'm not saying that any of these coaches are spectacular. I think Eric Spoelstra is a fantastic head coach.
Do you think Luke Walton is a spectacular coach?
No, I think he's a good head coach. But these guys didn't deserve.
The Kings hired him like that.
Yeah, the Kings hired him just like that because he is loved around the league. He's a great person. People love him. And
Vlade Divac, a former Laker, was like, hey, what's up?
Snatch him up as soon as they could. Yeah, 100%. But there's just too much evidence here. Now, if he had gotten Luke Walton maybe to work, maybe the narrative would have been a little bit different. But, man, that's almost 4 head coaches that you have run out of town. And the Lakers are the favorite to hire Tyronn Lue. If they hire Tyronn Lue, you have to say he's a coach killer because that means he's getting exactly what he wants.
That's
yes.
That is the guy he wants.
That's the guy he wants. That's the guy you know. That's the guy.
But Tyronn Lue's also a former Laker, so I mean, there's more. There's more to it.
Do you think Tyronn Lue is deserving of a head coaching job? I don't. I don't think he's a head coach.
He did well with LeBron, though.
Yeah, but there's a lot of guys that can do well with LeBron. And well, he did well with LeBron, Kyrie, and Kevin Love. When it was just LeBron, it was the simplest offense you've ever seen. It was get LeBron and get out of the way.
It's a good offense, though.
And it is a good offense until
you got to the finals.
4 games in the finals. Yeah, exactly. And I know you're going to defend your man, and you know what? I'm not exactly saying that this is a terrible. He's a terrible. He kills these coaches on purpose. He might. I don't know. We'd have to be closer to the situation.
I think there's just so many factors of I'm LeBron James. I'm expected to win. I'm expected to be in the finals, and I don't want all of the blame on me when I don't get there. There has to be some blame put on someone else, and so he points to the head coach.
But at the same time, that would make him a coach killer, though.
He has to put. I don't
want you to say it. I don't know
if I blame him though. Like that's the thing. I don't know if I blame him.
Okay, that's fine. But just say it. I want you to say it because you know it's true. If you throw out emotion when it comes to it. If you blame him or not, the fact that everywhere he goes, the coach has been removed either after or before he gets there. Please.
That's fair. That's
just
fair.
Just say it. Just say it. LeBron is a coach killer. I want you to say it because then I'll be good for the rest of the week.
Yeah, that's fine. He is. He is.
Thank you. That's all I needed. That's all I needed. That's all I was going for.
I think there's other factors though, and I don't blame the guy.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. 100%. He also attributes to the pressure once again, as well as the coaches. When LeBron comes there, you know what you're getting into. You know the baggage that he has, but he is a coach killer. You have to look at the facts, and he has a bad record. Okay, moving on to the NFL. Some very interesting developments coming out of Seattle. Franchise quarterback Russell Wilson. Reportedly, if there's not a contract long-term extension done by tonight at midnight, he's not going to sign a long-term deal. That he will sign a bunch of one-year deals with the Seahawks. First, I want you to answer this, Austin. Do you think Russell Wilson is deserving of a long-term, maybe $25 to $30 million deal that the Seahawks might give?
How many years?
I would assume 6 or 7.
I don't think so. I don't think he's deserving of a long-term deal.
Wow, why?
I don't know if he can sustain like the level of success 6 years down the road.
Why is that?
I just don't think like with the way that like quarterbacks are progressing nowadays that I don't know. I think I don't know, man. I don't know.
I put this kind of question on here because I felt like it was a slam dunk, and you're not giving that to me right now because I'm very confused. You threw me a curve. I don't know in what way he wouldn't deserve it. So for his first contract, his rookie deal, he was getting paid pennies on the dollar. And it was all about the Legion of Boom and the 12th man. All the way up until his second contract is done, takes a pay cut so he can keep the Legion of Boom. And, the 12th man, all of these things overshadow Russell Wilson. Pete Carroll, big personality head coach, overshadow Russell Wilson. Now, last year, he has one of the best seasons of his entire career when it comes to efficiency and stat-wise. And he's still kind of underappreciated in the NFL. And the Legion of Boom's gone. And Pete Carroll's still there. So he's still somewhat in 12th man. So he's still somewhat being overshadowed, I believe, and underappreciated. And he's, I believe, a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. And I don't know why his success wouldn't last. He has one of the best.
I think a lot of it is because what we saw at the end of the season where they're maybe trying to not use him as much in – like, is that the reason they don't want to sign him long term? Is because they're trying to move away from him solely putting the team on his back?
That could be a reason. That would be a stupid reason if they're trying to move on from a franchise. You do not give up on franchise quarterbacks, especially one that has won you a Super Bowl. This doesn't make sense to me. I feel like this is such an easy pay the man. Apparently, it's not for Seattle. Now, the outlying factor is his wife, Sierra. She wants to be in New York. That's the rumor. I'm not sure if it's true that she does not enjoy Seattle. She wants to be in New York, and that is also making him want to be in New York. Now the question with that is, if he goes to the Giants via trade, does that make the Giants a playoff contender?
Yeah, I think it would.
Yeah.
I think it would make him a playoff. You know what's something crazy that I heard though is, let's say that trade ended up happening. Let's say it's this year's first round pick. That's what Russell Wilson to New York. So Seattle has that first round pick.
Yeah.
And they take Kyler Murray. What if that happened?
Man, you still can't. You can't give up on Russell Wilson though. I still don't believe that. No, I mean.
Anyway, though, I think they would be a playoff contender if he's in New York.
Yeah.
I think him and Saquon could do some damage.
But you think that Seattle shouldn't pay him?
I don't know about 6 years. 6 years that's a long time. How old is he? He's got to be
He's 30 years old. Quarterbacks last much longer than people give him credit for.
Yeah. Especially now with the new rules and everything. That's true.
And people say that he's not a running quarterback anymore. He can run the ball still, but he's much slower than he was when he first came into the league, and he does not rely on his legs at all, pretty much, when it comes to the offense. He is a pocket passer, and he's one of the best in the NFL. He's a top 5 quarterback to me. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind I'd pay this guy. I think this guy is a stud that's always been underappreciated. And I think, you know what? It's finally time to be a little selfish. Pay me. Appreciate me. I have been the guy who won you a Super Bowl. You guys would not have won that with freaking Matt Flynn. I won you the Super Bowl. Give me some freaking credit around here. I'm tired of this. That's what the attitude I would have.
That's a fair point.
I don't see any reason not to pay the guy. You don't let franchise quarterbacks walk out the door. You don't do it.
Yeah, you're right. I think you've convinced me.
Yeah,
convinced me.
Just like that. I mean, what's the alternative? I mean, you made the playoffs last year. You did get bounced in the first round by Dallas, but at the same time, what exactly are you going to do? What are you going to move to? Go get a rookie quarterback like Kyler Murray, who's a smaller, probably going to be a less efficient version of Russell Wilson?
True.
I don't understand it, but I guess we'll have to see. I hope he stays in Seattle. I think he's been underappreciated. I think it's time that he gets some damn credit.
Plus, I think in Seattle he has a chemistry with all of his wide receivers right now, like Tyler Lockett and some of those young guys.
Doug Baldwin, of course.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, moving on to the best sport in the world, the MLB baseball. We're just going to do 3 teams right now that are absolutely on fire. We did 3 teams that were clunking last episode, so this time we're going to do some 3 teams that are just killing it, and see if they can sustain success. So, Austin, I'm going to give you number 1, the Tampa Bay Rays. Let me get their record up here. They are the best team in baseball right now with a 12-4 record. Can they sustain success?
I think they can.
At this level?
I think they can.
You think so?
I think they have the pitching to be able to do it, and they're not trying to hit home runs every at-bat. They're just playing really solid defense. Pitching has been playing – well, defense, but they've had strong pitching. At-bats have been productive. I think I had them as one of my wild card teams, actually. That's a tough division, and the way Boston's been starting out, I think they're favorable to make the playoffs.
Yeah. Right now, the Tampa Bay Rays are the only team even above 500. You have the Tampa Bay Rays at 12-4. Then you have Yankees at 6-9. 6-10 are the Orioles and the Red Sox, and 5-11 are the Blue Jays. So very bad division as of right now. I'm going to say yes and no with the Tampa Bay Rays. I think they could win the AL East. I think that's a good possibility. 12-4, that kind of pace is not something they're going to be able to keep up. That would, they would win pretty much 120 games at that pace. So I think they're going to slow down a little bit due to the offense. Right now, their best hitter is Austin Meadows, and you know how much I love him. He's had a spectacular year so far. Putting the offensive load on the shoulders of a rookie is not something I'm going to be too happy about.
That's fair.
I don't think the offense is going to be able to pump out all of these runs. But they do have right now the number 1 pitching staff in the American League. So I mean, if you're able to keep Meadows going, and the pitching stays where it's at, maybe
the
even
back
comes
is
down
able to put up 2-3 runs a game.
That's all you really need.
That's all they need for their pitching.
Exactly, with guys like Snell in there, getting you some good innings, and then you throw out all those different relievers that you have. I guess I'm buying on the Rays right now. I like them.
Kind of buying in on them.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm buying the Rays. Okay, number 2, the New York Mets. Now, this one's very interesting because I have money on this one.
Because they also have really strong pitching? I just don't know. I don't think so. I don't think they can sustain this level of success. I think the Braves are young, and they can catch up, and that's going to be some tough series. The Phillies are the same way. They're trying to get with Bryce Harper and everything and figure things out there. So I think they can, but I don't think they will.
The Mets have turned me. I actually
buying in on the Mets.
I actually like this team. Now the problem is I'm buying in on the Mets.
They beat Atlanta last night, right?
I don't see them being better than 3rd in the NL East. That's still tough. The Phillies and the
Braves beat Atlanta last night, right?
They lost to Atlanta last night.
Okay.
the Braves were able to rough up Jacob deGrom a little bit. Hank Aaron was at the game. That was also a big thing. He was on the broadcast on ESPN, and they were talking with him. He's always just, I mean, one of the greatest guys you ever listened to. He's played in the greatest era of baseball. Played with Jackie Robinson, didn't play, but Jackie Robinson, home run king. I don't care what anyone says about Barry Bonds. He's the home run king, Hank Aaron. But I'm going to buy on the Mets, but at the same time, once again, I don't think they're better than the Braves or the Phillies, and that's just from a talent standpoint. Syndergaard, DeGrom, Steven Matz, and Zach Wheeler, they have probably 1 through 5, one of the best rotations in the NL. So much talent. Their bullpen has some holes in it, obviously. Pete Alonso might be the NL Rookie of the Year. He is, as of right now. He has been tearing the cover off the ball at first base. He's putting up historic rookie numbers that we've never seen. McNeil's doing what he does, and their shortstop has improved drastically. They still don't have Todd Frazier or Younes Cespedes back. Those are 2 guys that have not even been playing yet. So I'm buying on the Mets. I really like what they're doing right now. But at the same time,
how long is it going to be till Cespedes gets there?
I'm not exactly sure. I think he's still on the 60-day deal because I think he tore his Achilles. So I'm not exactly sure. But Todd Frazier should be back here soon. It's tough because that division is just it's skin tight. It's tight when you get to the top 3, and I don't think. And then we're not even talking about the Nationals, who are only 7-7, so they're going to be there. So I'm buying on them. At the same time, I feel like I'm not. So
okay, yeah.
Number 3, we have the San Diego Padres. This one's very interesting in the NL West. They're leading the NL West at 11-6.
Oh man,
are you buying?
I don't know. You go first. You go first on this one.
No, this is fool's gold at its best.
Okay.
They're hitting.
I didn't know if they were like having like any outrageous like numbers or anything that I wasn't aware of, or
right now you can pretty much pin their success on the shoulders of Tatis Jr. Their shortstop coming up. He was the number 1 prospect in the MLB. Outside, or he's number 2 actually. Vladimir Guerrero was number 1. So him coming up, he's at 5 home runs already, has nearly 20 RBIs. He's been an absolute monster. But he's been the soul of their offense. You have guys like Hunter Renfroe, who has a lot of power. Machado has been hitting some home runs. Eric Hosmer, who I'm wearing right now, has not got off to a very good start. Their rotation is still not very good. I'm not convinced of it one bit. I'm not even buying the Padres for 3rd place this year. The Rockies are not going to stay at 4-12.
No, they're not.
I know for a fact that it's not going to continue. They've been running into some very good teams. So I'm selling on the Padres.
Yeah, I'll agree. I just didn't know if they had any like outrageous numbers that you're like, oh man, this is pretty shocking. But no, the biggest factor for me is the Rockies because I know they're just too good to be playing the way that they're playing.
Right.
And so they're gonna be able to surpass the Padres.
All right. Okay. Now on to our segments. We have over, under, or push. I'm going to start you off, Austin, with the Orlando Magic, saying that the Toronto Raptors may be in trouble. Are the Orlando Magic getting to the 2nd round? Over, under, or push?
I'm going to say under. I don't know if they're going to be able to beat the Raptors in a 7-game series.
Okay.
The Raptors look pretty bad in game 1, but like we said, if Kyle Lowry does anything, then they win that game 1. So I think it's going to be tough for them to beat him 4 times.
Right. And like you said, Kyle Lowry, if he can be a shell of himself a little less, they win that game.
Yeah.
So I'm not counting on him to score 0 points again. So I believe in the Toronto Raptors. Number 2, the Rays. We were talking about them winning the AL East. What do you think? Over, under, or push?
I'll say under.
Under.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll say under. I still don't expect Boston and New York to play the way that they've started out.
Yeah.
Those teams are just too good, too talented to continue that.
Yeah. It's a 162 game season for a reason. All of the weaknesses come out. I wouldn't be surprised by it, but I'm still buying on the Yankees. I still love what they did in the offseason. I think they're the most complete team in the AL East. I don't like the Rays with their offense, it being so one-dimensional right now when it comes to Austin Meadows playing out of his mind. You do have guys who are hitting well, but you're just not getting the run production from them as much yet. Like Brandon Lowe at second base, Willie Adames at short, and Kevin Kiermaier in center. They play okay defense. I'm just not ready to say AL East champs yet. I'm gonna have to see it.
Yeah.
Maybe catch me closer to July All-Star break, but I'm just not ready.
I do have them in the playoffs though, but not winning the division.
Yeah. Okay, now this was the most interesting one. Over under a push. Tiger Woods wins another major.
I'll say over. I think now that he's gotten over that hump of actually winning one, that he knows that he can compete and beat the top 10 best players in the world, like he just did this weekend. And like I said, there's 4 majors in each season, so
you're saying he's
going to have a lot more chances at it.
So you're saying he'll win 2 more?
I think he could win 2 more, I think he wins 2 more.
Okay. I'm gonna go, and once again, don't follow my advice. I'm gonna go with under. I don't think he wins another one. I think this was a story for a lifetime, a story that we'll all remember. But I don't know if I see it happening again. A lot had to go right for him to win the Masters, and a lot had to go wrong for a lot of other guys. So I don't know if I see it again. Okay, here we go. The best part of the show, fact or fiction. It is officially back once again. Last week, you did good, Austin. You did 67%, 2 of 3, which is spectacular when it comes to the odds. I mean, if you can do that every single week, which isn't going to happen. This one, you're going to go 0 for 3, hopefully. That's always what I hope.
That's your goal.
That's my goal. But let's just jump into it. This is going to be a good one. This one, I spent at least 20 minutes on. This one I spent a lot of time on it.
All right.
You're right. Now, and if you get 3 for 3, I'm going to cry.
Well,
that means all my work has been for naught. So, all right. Number 1. Nearly 30,000 rubber ducks were lost at sea in 1992 and are still being discovered today. Or that Australia has the largest poisonous spider population in the world, grossing over 4 million spiders per year.
I feel like the rubber ducks one is true because that's just so crazy. So I feel like it's true just on the fact that it's so wild that I believe it.
Okay, that is correct. There you go. Yes, sir. Wow, you are off to a hot start. Wow.
Let's go.
Yeah, the rubber ducks one is
just 100% so true. Wild, it's like, no way that's true. And then it's like, oh wow, that is true.
Yeah. I need to throw out some weird ones out there. All right, number 2. Sears used to sell houses, or that 14 people a year die from overconsumption of deli meats.
That one's really tough.
This is the best part of the show. I love this. I can't get enough of it.
I'm going to say the deli meats one is true. I'm going to say that one's true. The 14 people, yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
All right, you're wrong.
Used to sell houses.
Sears used to sell houses. I guess so. I don't know the facts. I just look them up.
Oh, my gosh. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So you are, let's find it. You are.
Man, that was a tough one right there. That was a tough one.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now, hopefully, I can get you to 500 here if I can get you on this one. Number 3 and the final one. Tigers fake pregnancies so that they can receive better care, or that rich Russians hire fake ambulances.
Ooh.
Both have a fake in it.
I'm going to say the tiger one is real.
500, baby.
Oh, my God.
No, sir. You know what's funny is I changed it. Pandas do that. Pandas fake pregnancy to get better care.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And rich Russians, they hire fake ambulances so that they can go around the city, and whenever they want, they flip on the lights and they can get anywhere.
That's a power move.
That is an absolute power move. You are 3 of 6 on the year. You went 1 of 3 this time.
See, I thought the Tiger one was real because I was like, oh, Tiger Woods just won the Masters, so you're going to find some fact about Tiger. That's what you're good, man. You're
dude, that
good.
was oh my, what is that? I was like, that was like one of those traps where a fly flies into it and I just close the mouth.
Well done. Well done. That was a good one.
Yeah. I knew exactly. It was all head game, man. I knew exactly. You're like, you go with the one with Tiger. Tiger Woods just won the Masters. Of course, I would include a Tiger, a true fact. It was false.
Oh, that was some good mind games right there.
Dude, that's how I come up with all of these. I think, what would Austin think? And let me like triple it around 3 times so they all just get jumbled. It's the best. It's the best way I can do it.
That's good. That was a good one.
Thank you. You know what? Good game. Good game. I always appreciate a good challenge, and you always put up a good fight.
500 on the year. I mean, that's where I finished last year during the cave, so I'm sitting right where I was.
How about this year? By like June or July, whoever if you're below or above 500, pays for a plane ticket down here.
That's pretty.
That could be. We'll probably end up splitting it anyways because you have got to come down here this summer. I've decided it. You don't really have a say in it. And we're going to a Braves game. Hopefully, I actually haven't seen this yet. If the Royals are in town.
Oh yeah, dude.
They might be. I mean,
I'm definitely gonna look that up when we're done with this.
Yeah, no, seriously, we are. Okay, but before we do that, Furious Favors, our last segment of the show, because unfortunately we do have to end it. Number 1, we got Brooklyn versus 76ers in Philadelphia tonight. 76ers are still favored -8.
I don't think it'll be by 8, but I think they'll win.
So you're going with Brooklyn then, because if you're picking the spread, that means that Brooklyn has to that means the 76ers have to win by at least 8.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do that.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to go with Brooklyn with +8 there. I think Brooklyn does win tonight. I think that they have played inspired. And dude, I love underdog stories. Brooklyn is absolutely underdog story. Everyone on that team is a guy that's been overlooked, underhyped, and getting a second chance. So I love the Brooklyn players. D'Angelo Russell's one of my favorite players in the NBA. I like what Brooklyn's doing. Don't look inspired to me. I'm going with Brooklyn tonight. And Golden State versus the Clippers at 13.5 for Golden State.
I'll take Golden State on that one.
You'll take Golden State -13.5.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Clippers. I don't think they're going to win.
How do you feel about KD and Patrick Beverley?
You know what? I like the battle, and I actually respect KD for his comments after the game saying, you know what, Patrick Beverley.
I didn't think he would say that. That surprised me. That statement surprised me.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. What I was thinking. Yeah, I like KD's respect for Patrick Beverley because Patrick Beverley is a guy, whether you like him or not, I love him. He played for the Rockets. I think he's just a guy who plays hard. I love it. I don't think he's a dirty player. Some people might think so. I think he just loves to get into people's heads, and I love watching it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the Clippers. If there's a game that they take, this will probably be this one or game 3. But 13.5, I don't care who it is. That's a lot for a playoff basketball game. I don't see 13.5 going. I see more close to 10 probably. So I'm going to go with the Clippers.
Okay.
And then lastly, we have a very good duel tonight. NL East rivals. We have the New York Mets throwing out Noah Syndergaard, and we have the Phillies throwing out Aaron Nola tonight. I wasn't able to get the spread on this one, so we're just gonna have to pick them straight up.
I'll take Thor in the Mets.
Yep. That's what I was going with as well. They're just coming off of a loss against, or back-to-back losses against the Braves. Jacob deGrom got roughed up last night. So I think Thor's going to come in there and he's going to say, you know what, this rotation is still one of the best in the MLB. We need to win this. And the Phillies did not have a very good series, or as good of a series as they thought against the Marlins. They got roughed up a little bit. So I'm thinking maybe the Phillies are a little more on the downslide right now, and the Mets are still coming up. I like the Mets tonight. Okay. Unfortunately, that's it for us. It's sad stuff. It's sad stuff. You just hate to see it.
It's tough.
All right, Austin. Say bye to the people. I need you to say bye.
Peace out, y'all.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. This is Meet Me Halfway. Tune in next Thursday at around the same time. I'm Jordan Griffith. He is Awesome and Gold. Thank you guys for watching. You have a great day.